Hey, welcome to Parkview Kids. I'm Tina, and I want to take this opportunity on behalf of our entire kids team to say, I'm so glad you're here. Here at Parkview, we love the next generation, and we want to give them our very best. Our top priority is providing a space where kids can learn about and grow their relationship with Jesus in a way that's fun and engaging. During our time together, your kids will hear an age-appropriate lesson that will help them deepen their understanding of who God is. I want to encourage you to sit down and watch this together. We hope that this will provide a foundation for you to have great conversation together as a family about the truths that are talked about here. And make sure you stick around after the video to hear about some more great resources that we have for you and your family. All right, are you ready to get started? Let's go.
Hey, welcome to Story Lab. This week we're talking about kindness while we take a look at someone who brought light wherever he went. I thought my lantern was in here.
Hey, I'm Carter.
And I'm Zeke,
We're talking about kindness.
which is showing others they are valuable by how you treat them.
I thought you were getting ready to go camping.
I am.
This looks more like crafting to me.
Well, I can't find my camping lantern, so I'm making one.
With tissue?
Oh, with this.
Hey, that's mine.
Well, you don't mind donating it for the cause of camping, right?
Ew. Ugh. Kids, do not do that at home.
Well, there's like 4 swallows left.
We could probably do a whole show on what happens when you drink out of a bottle.
Studies have shown that the average reusable water bottle contains 40,000 times more bacteria than a toilet seat.
Ew! Oh, gross!
Sanitize your water bottles, folks.
Well, I'm not gonna use this bottle to drink out of anyways.
Fine, it's all yours.
Excellent! Ta-da!
Cool, but I think you missed the part where a lantern is supposed to light up.
Oh, well, I'll just toss in a few glow sticks.
Fair enough, but that's not going to keep you warm.
Yeah, and my dad is terrible at starting campfires.
Maybe you can give him a few tips.
From Flame Master Zeke. Oh.
Let's make it! First of all, never ever try to start a campfire without an adult.
And always keep a bucket of water and sand handy. Also, settle for real nature and not just a cheesy backdrop.
When you're ready to start, step 1 is to look around your fire pit area for 3 different kinds of wood.
First off, you got tinder. That's small twigs, dry leaves, or pine needles.
Then, some kindling. Larger sticks about less than an inch around. And we have more kindling that are just slightly above an inch.
Finally, you've got fuel.
Your fuel is larger pieces of split logs, branches, or even firewood that you can pick up at the store.
What next?
Next, it's time to build. Take a couple handfuls of tinder and pile them in your fire pit.
Right there.
Then add some kindling and build a little tent over your tinder. Might want some more.
Just pile it on top.
Yep.
How is that?
You got it. Now it's time for a grown-up to bring out a match or a lighter. The dry twigs and leaves should light pretty easily. All right. Starting to heat up just a little bit. There we go. Now, you can feed it with more dry twigs and leaves, little by little, and watch as it takes off. And you can blow lightly at the base of the fire as well.
All right, ready for this?
Whoa, Flame Master. Add some kindling first.
Oh.
Here. When the fire is big enough, then you can start to add larger pieces of fuel.
This is so relaxing. I could do this all day.
I bet you could. But meanwhile, it's time for...
The story before the story.
Today, we're in the book of Matthew.
Matthew is one of the 4 books called the Gospels. These books tell stories from the life of Jesus.
Matthew was written down by one of Jesus' followers, a tax collector whose life was turned upside down by his friendship with Jesus.
Matthew recorded that when Jesus was about 30 years old, he began to travel from town to town, teaching and healing. Everywhere Jesus went, big crowds gathered. Some people were desperate to be made well. Others came to hear his teaching.
Jesus didn't turn anyone away, even people who were considered outcasts, which is where our story starts.
Take it away.
Hey everyone, I am Brian. And hey, I've got a question for you. Have you ever wondered what God looks like? I mean, God is so incredibly awesome and amazing and glorious that people can't look directly at God. I mean, when Moses spent time with God on Mount Sinai, Moses' face shone so brightly afterward that he had to cover it. But God wants to be known. God wants to be in a close relationship with us, like a good friend. And that's the reason God sent Jesus. The Apostle Paul wrote that Jesus is the exact likeness of God. Jesus is God's Son. So when we look at the things Jesus said and did, we can know that this is what God is like. Jesus showed us what it means to love others like God does. And one of the most important ways that we can show love is through kindness. Now, it's easy to think of kindness as just, well, being nice, and that's part of it. But Jesus showed us that true kindness goes much deeper. Let's take a look at 3 different times Jesus showed kindness. One day, after Jesus finished teaching, a man with a skin disease threw himself on the ground at Jesus' feet. At that time, if you had a skin disease, there was no easy cure, so you had to stay away from everyone, even your own family. No one wanted to come anywhere near you, much less, actually touch you. The crowd around Jesus would have been horrified.
Ew, get away.
But the sick man was so desperate, he didn't care about the rules.
Lord, if you're willing to make me well, you can do it.
Instead of backing away, Jesus did the unthinkable. He reached out his hand and touched the man.
I am willing to do it. Be clean.
At once, the man was made well. His skin became completely clean and healthy. Through the kindness of Jesus, the man could now return to his family and friends. In fact, Jesus often spent time with those who were overlooked or considered unimportant, like children. Let's take a look at another time that Jesus showed kindness. Now, at this time, people didn't think kids had much value. So when some families brought their kids to see Jesus, his followers stepped in to stop it.
You can't bother Jesus with a bunch of snotty-nosed kids.
Yeah, Jesus is way too busy with important stuff.
Jesus didn't see it that way at all. He stepped in to flip the situation upside down.
Let the little children come to me. Don't keep them away. The kingdom of heaven belongs to people like them.
Jesus didn't care what other people thought. He welcomed those kids, laying his hands on them and blessing them. He showed everyone around him how valuable children truly are. Finally, let's look at a 3rd time that Jesus spent time with some unexpected people. Now, remember how Jesus invited Matthew, who was a tax collector, to follow him? Tax collectors were considered to be traitors to the Jewish people. But when Matthew invited Jesus to dinner, Jesus didn't hesitate to come. He spent time hanging out at a meal with tax collectors and other people who were looked down on for their wrong choices. Of course, the religious leaders were shocked. They demanded of Jesus' followers,
"Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?"
Jesus heard what they were saying.
Those who are healthy don't need a doctor. Sick people do. I've not come to get those who think they are right with God to follow me. I've come to get sinners to follow me.
Jesus didn't just spend his time hanging out with people who were important or had it all together. He gave his attention and help to those who were outcast and overlooked. And we can show the kindness of God when we do the same. The end.
I love that since Jesus is God's son, he gives us this perfect picture of what God is like.
Yeah, he's not just a king, but a friend.
You know, I bet when Jesus was growing up, he always looked for the kid who needed a friend.
Jesus showed incredible kindness to us all by giving up his life so we can be restored to relationship with God.
The ultimate act of kindness.
So, what's our part in the story?
Well, it's easy to be kind to somebody when you might get something out of it, like an invite to a popular kid's birthday party or maybe help with your homework. But Jesus was kind to everyone, especially the people who seem to have the least to offer. So just like Jesus, we can keep our eyes open for people who are often overlooked.
Yeah, like that quiet kid in your class who usually sits alone.
Or the kid who was always picked last for PE.
You can say hi and offer words of encouragement. Let them know that you see them.
And when you're making a list of kids to invite to your birthday party, think about including someone who may not get many invitations.
Or if the checkout lady at the grocery store looks sad or worried, give her a smile.
Or if you live in a place where there are people without homes, ask your parents to keep warm socks and snacks in the car to give away.
It's all good ideas. Everywhere you look, you'll find somebody who needs your kindness to remind them they're valuable.
Someone who needs you to show God's love.
Ask God to help you look for opportunities.
And then be ready to go for it.
You got that right. See you next time.
So, here's the thing. Jesus showed us how to be kind.
By treating everyone with love and respect.
And shining God's light everywhere we go. Just like a warm, bright campfire.
Or my lantern.
About that.
Oh, hold on.
Well, look at that.
What can I say? I have such bright ideas.
Thanks for joining us in the Story Lab.
See you next time.
So it's like your own makeshift lantern.
I know, I can see everything. I don't know how to turn the lights back on.
Snap.
Oh, worked.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. We hope that the truths found in this lesson will take deep roots in your family. Speaking of your family, we want to walk alongside you on this journey. We have an awesome resource for you called the Parent Hub. Every month, we share new relevant resources for each of our age groups, birth through high school. Visit theparenthub.org to find out more. We are rooting for you and your family. Keep up the hard and wonderful work of pointing your kids towards Jesus. We love you.